Hi, I'm Stuart from the Norfolk Honey Company and welcome to another of our Maisemore Apiaries sponsored videos for 2017. Today we've returned back to the isolation apiary where we were last week to have a check-up on the nucleus colony that we moved from the nuke box into the full-size poly hive. Maisemore Apiaries have been very kind in supplying us with a range of equipment, including their poly commercial hives and also a couple of their commercial poly nukes, and we've been using those over the latter part of the season to compare and contrast them with our wooden hives. And I'll leave a full link in the description below so that you can go across to their website and take a look at the products that we're using in these videos. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do consider subscribing. We've a growing back catalogue of videos, not only in the Maisemore Apiaries sponsored videos, but also in our Getting Started series and also our Beekeeping Basics. Also, we have our Facebook group, which is called Stuart's Beekeeping Basics, and we've a growing number of beekeepers there, particularly new beekeepers and people who are thinking about starting beekeeping, that are asking lots of really good questions and getting lots of help, tips and techniques on how to inspect a hive and how to manage your bees through that first crucial year of becoming a beekeeper. So please do pop over there and take a look at our beekeeping group. We're also on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll leave links below to our feeds in those social media platforms. And don't forget our Patreon page, which is our crowd-funded page, which helps support us in producing the videos that we're producing on this channel, and it would be great to have you come along there and join in a more in-depth conversation in the discussion groups there. So this is our Maisemore Apiaries poly hive. Last week, you'll recall, if you've seen that video, we added the nuke to the poly hive and put a feeder on top. So this is our queen number, so she's number 49. This white board is the Varroa screen that goes underneath the floor, and we're not using that at the moment. We've got our queen excluder, again we're not using that at the moment, and you'll recall that we filled up the feeder with quite a lot of sugar syrup, and they've actually taken that all down, and we probably should have brought some more sugar syrup with us today to top this up. So we'll go away and make up some more sugar syrup and return and just top this up once we've finished inspecting. But the bees are up here, they're ready to take some more sugar down, so that's something that we need to do. As long as you're feeding the bees a reasonable amount of sugar syrup, they will continue to draw comb and they will continue to store the sugar syrup. So we'll just give them a little bit of smoke across the top bars, and then we can see how well they've done since last week. So we've got the outside frames, which this particular outside frame isn't being worked on yet, but they've already moved on to this frame, and so we've got a small patch of drawn comb at the top here. So they definitely need some more sugar syrup to help them, because we don't have a nectar flow on now. It's mid-August and it's getting to the point where certainly we've seen some of the ivy in flower, and that's quite early for this location. So here's a comb that's been drawn since last week, and that's looking really good. They've got lots of stores in it. The bees are in a particularly good mood today, which is great. This cluster of bees here are bees that are now drawing comb and storing both nectar and syrup in the cells, and you can quite easily move the bees around with your fingertips and as long as you're gentle with them, they'll move themselves out of the way. And you can see all the bees there with their heads buried into that little section of comb. So that's good. We'll pop that frame back in. One of the little tricks with the poly hive, and in fact wooden hives, is if you use some petroleum jelly or Vaseline on the runners, it allows the frames to slide a lot easier than if you just put them straight down onto it. So it's always worth doing. So in this frame we have a patch of brood. I'll just tilt it towards me to see if I can see eggs, and we've got eggs as well, so we've got lots of eggs around here. This cell here potentially is the start of a supersedure cell where the bees are looking to replace their queen. It could also just be a rudimentary queen cup that the bees are producing just because they can, really, but we'll just peel the side away to just have a look inside. And at the moment there's nothing in there, so we're going to just pull that wax away, and I'll leave that just in case the bees do want to produce a supersedure queen. So on this side we've got our queen. You can see her just here with where my finger is, and she's got a yellow dot on the back. Now last week when I marked her, she started to twist in my fingers, and I decided to release her a little bit earlier than I should have, and as a result the workers chased after her and licked away all of the paint that was on her thorax. And that's because it's a water-based marker pen that I use, and they're easily able to move it away from her thorax. But she's marked perfectly adequately for me. I can see the yellow mark on her thorax, so it's not a problem. And again, we've got lots of eggs laid up in this frame. So we'll pop that one back. It's now getting to the point in the year when inspections will no longer be required, and that's very much a judgment call for the individual beekeeper. When you finally stop inspecting, and inspections should always be carried out with a reason, so whether it be looking for queen cells, whether it's a disease inspection, whether it's checking to see whether bees have sufficient stores, whether they're drawing frames, whatever the reason for your inspection is, as we get closer and closer towards the autumn and the winter months, those inspections will gradually reduce, and eventually we'll be in a position where we won't be inspecting any longer, and then it'll be the long wait until we get back through into the spring again. So another good solid frame of brood, all capped and ready to emerge as adult bees, and these are now going to be some of the early winter bees that will take this colony through into the winter, and then as we go through into the autumn, the eggs that are laid then will become the winter colony and see us through into the spring of next year. So these frames are the frames that have come out of the old nucleus box. So we've still got lots of eggs, larvae and capped brood there. So we've got brood in all stages is an expression that you will hear beekeepers use. And this is the final frame from the nuke box, and this one is loaded up with lots of stores on both sides, and a lot of pollen on this side, so the bees are really packing all of their stores away. And we've got another rudimentary queen cup here. We'll just have a look inside, and again there's nothing inside that cell. So we'll pop this one back in. And then we're into one of the frames that we added last week, And again, you can see the bees have started drawing it on both sides, and so we really do need to get some more food into these as quickly as we can. So we'll probably pop back later this afternoon and top up the feeder. The remaining 2 frames here are just foundation still, so we'd like to encourage the bees to come right across all of these frames as soon as we possibly can, so that they're then completely stacked with food ready for the winter. So we'll just ease the frames back together, and that's another inspection completed on this colony. So we'll pop the feeder back on. And if you are interested in the poly hives, I would certainly suggest taking a look at the Maisemore website. It's called Bees Online, and I'll put a link down in the description below. But they've got some excellent equipment, and I certainly recommend taking a look at the sales that they have as well. So we've got everything back together, we pop the roof on, and then all that remains is for us to use the strap, which is designed just to hold everything together for us. And then we have another inspection completed successfully. So that's another really good inspection. I'm really pleased with the way that nuke is developing. We do need to get some more feed on them, so some sugar syrup is really urgently required here. And to take advantage of the current warm spell that we've got, if we give them plenty of sugar syrup, they can then produce the wax in order to build out those frames. My thanks again to Jonathan and the team at Maisemore Apiaries for supplying all the equipment, and don't forget to take a look at their website, and I'll leave all of the links down in the description below. But until next week, thanks for watching.